Hello, everyone. Carlos Flores, back on basics. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel, Back on Basics 9985. Hit the notification button so that way you know when new videos come on. This is video number 97. 97 videos are in my YouTube channel, Back on Basics 9985. Different topics. You can go in there and you can look, you can watch about different topics. Like today's topic. Today's topic is how to build a teenager's self-esteem. And I think it's important because you have to realize you went through, if either recently or a little bit long time ago, or even long time ago, you were once a teenager, and you know how awkward that stage is. It is awkward. For me, it was very awkward because I wanted to fit in, but the thing that we're going to talk about later on is I kept on comparing myself with others around me, and I wanted to be like others, but because I kept on comparing myself with different people, I didn't know who I was and what I wanted to do. And so, but before we start, hit the like button if you like this video. If you want a specific topic, put it in the comment section, and I'll be happy to give you my take on it. I've been laughing for a little bit because I want to make sure that there's a difference in me, and I want to share it with you. I mean, you've seen me. I've actually been losing weight, and I'm right around 213, 215. I think my stretch goal, like I said, is 210. And so in terms of clothing, I'm between a medium and a large. And so I haven't worn this. My uncle gave me this, and actually I have the shorts for to have the full uniform. It's an XXL, but I want to wear it. I love sports. That's one of the things that saved me as a teenager, sports. When I was in high school, I did wrestling, I did soccer, I did football. I mean, I did a lot of sport, and that gave me a different perspective of who I was. And it built my self-esteem, and it made me humble, because winning and losing is great, losing sucks, but it made me think about, okay, how am I going to communicate how I feel whenever we win or we lose a game? Or even when I was wrestling. I mean, I was in the heavyweights. And the thing is that I was in the heavyweight section maybe by 3-4 pounds the most. And so because of that, I would always go with the opponents that were like 250, 275, and I was barely in the maybe 195, and so I was barely there. I barely made it to the heavyweight. I tried losing weight to go one under, but I couldn't. So I would always wrestle heavy people, and I didn't have the most experience, but I realized that I realized that I had the control to get to where I wanted to. So again, look at me now, 48 years old. I went from 263 to right around 213, 215. I go back and forth between that. My stretch goal is 210. And so it's great that I've gotten to this, and I'm gonna get even better, even healthier. It's not about the looks; it's more about the health, right? As I get older, then my sustainability to be healthy, I wanted to give my body a fighting chance, and so here I am, right? Soccer jersey, soccer shorts. I don't have them on right now, but again, it's changing. and being okay where you're at. And that's one thing that you have to teach a teenager. It's being where you're at. You don't have to be the most popular. You don't have to be the most quiet kid. You don't have to be the most studious kid. You just have to be yourself. Yourself is great. You are great. If you put a teenager in front of me, I would tell them, you are great. You have so many different positive things that are going in your life. You have a support system that will help you get to where you want to get to. You have friendships that will help you process things. So that way it's not just you being in your head, because you don't want to be in your head as a teenager, because then is just taking your own opinion, which a lot of the times, because you're going through hormone change, you're feeling like you're changing, you're developing in different ways. It's hard to be a teenager. And it's hard to be a teenager that stays in his head or her head, because all you're getting is you. There's no other person that's helping you. It's you. It's in your head. You have to get out of your head and you have to reach out to your support system. As a teenager, you have to do that, because that way you can get a balance in what you're doing and in what you're seeing. You need a different perspective, so that way you can make decisions to adapt. And that's one of the things that I wanted to make sure that right off the bat you understood. So for parents, one of the things that I would tell you to do is to encourage your teenage children not to compare. There's no comparison. There's only one you, right? You're very unique. You can be anything that you want to. It's okay to make mistakes. It's okay to be quiet. It's okay to be popular. It's okay to be a jock. It's okay to be whoever you want to be. But once you start comparing yourself to others, then that's when the self-esteem starts going down. No matter what, don't let your self-esteem go down. I'm telling you, believe me, I have been in so many situations where I know I could have done better, where I know I could have been, I should have shared who I was, but I was always quiet. I was the quiet kid in the corner. I usually would sit in the back because I want to be quiet. I just want to observe people. Well, I didn't share who I was with people. And that's one of the things that I need to make sure that you understand. And parents, again, foster the ability for your kids to not compare themselves to others. Because if they do, then a lot of the times it's skewed. A lot of the times the comparison between what's going on in their lives and what's going on around them doesn't seem fair, and self-esteem starts going down. Just make sure that they're realistically talking to their friends. If they don't want to talk to you as a parent, or they don't want to share as much as they would do with their friends, then tell them to do that. Tell them to share with their friends. But they have to find a friend that is willing to give them honest opinion, honesty, because that way they don't start losing that self-esteem. They don't start thinking about the negative stuff that goes around. And believe me, there's always positive and then there's negatives. And you choose what you want to see. But when you get in a slump, when you start going down in self-esteem, when you're feeling like the world's against you, you will see only the negative, unless you get together with people that will tell you the truth and will tell you what's going on. Make sure that you go around these people and you get a perspective other than yourself. Don't get a skewed perspective, because if you get a skewed perspective, it's going to be difficult for you to get out of your head. So, another thing is, parents, teach them to be socially responsible using social media. Social media has a lot of different things, and this is part of social media. These YouTube videos that I'm making is part of the big picture of social media. You have to understand that that is a kind of like a made up world. It's a made up world, especially with right now with filters. People just saying, "Oh, this is where I'm at. This is where I should be. Look at me in front of this car. This is my car." And so a lot of the times we're just faking the stuff that we're doing so that way people can see that we're successful. And so teenagers are no different than adults. They want to be successful. They want to be accepted. And so because of that, they also do different things in social media. You have to make sure that they make responsible decisions. You don't have to be like doing things like these challenges that you hear in different social media apps, or trying things or doing things that's going to get them hurt emotionally or physically or psychologically, right? Because we want these teenagers to have this mind-body balance. Mind-body balance. So make sure that, they're using social media responsibly. So, thing that I'm gonna do, and I realize that this video could go long if I don't stop it at 3, is keep on communicating with your kids. Do not assume that they're doing okay, because okay looks different for every single teenager. Communicate with them. Ask them questions. How are you doing? What are you working on? Is there anything that I can help you with? Are there things that are on your mind that need processing? And be okay to have somebody else talk to them as well, just in case they need a kind of like a neutral person that will tell them realistically, but at the same time, they will help them out. So again, make sure that you're communicating with the teenagers, good, bad, and make sure that you connect with them. Ask them questions. Don't make it like you're trying to find something out. Just ask questions. How did you do today? What things did you do today? What did you eat for lunch today? I mean, it's common sense, but we don't do it because a lot of the times we just want to leave the teenagers alone because, again, hormones, everything, social life, social media life. I mean, all of those things. Can you imagine if you were a teenager in this day and age? You would be driven by just impulsive actions. That's what happens with teenagers. They do impulsive actions. Don't have them do that. Have them think about it. There's another video that says, wait 3 seconds before you make a decision, because at least you're giving your mind, your brain 3 seconds, so that way you can decide what to do best. But the main thing is communicate with them. Don't just say, oh, I'm going to let them be and I'm going to let them figure it out on their own. No, this is a time where you need to support them. You need to support these teenagers, even if you clash, right? Even if you butt heads, because I get it. Even if you butt heads, you have to have a way to communicate with them and let them know that, yes, you're their parent, but you want the best for them and you want to help them as much as possible. So communicate that. Communicate that you love them. Communicate that you appreciate the things that they do. Communicate the things that you wish they could do better, but balance it with you between positive and constructive criticism, or negative, if you want to put it that way. So communicate with them constantly, not be in front of them constant, but you have to keep an eye on them. You have to make sure that they're doing okay, right? Teach them how to be responsible in social media, because again, some of the things that are in there, people do it out of impulsivity. They want to be impulsive to do that. And then make sure that they're not comparing themselves to anybody else. They need to be themselves. They are very unique. They are very precious. They are very smart. They are your kids. They don't need to compare themselves to anybody else. So, again, I'm going to do a second and maybe even a third video with additional ways of helping raise your children's or your teenage children's self-esteem. And believe me, it could be young adults as well. This works for young adults as well. But until next time, subscribe to Back on Basics 9985. Hit the notification button so that way you can get notified of new videos coming on. Hit the like button if you like this video. If you have specific questions or specific topics, put them in the comment section. So until next time, Back on Basics.